If you feel more comfortable starting from the cuticle area and working your way down, all power to you. I just don't necessarily recommend it for beginner nail techs who are still working on practicing and getting a hold of their liquid to powder ratio. I'm going to go through the 3-bead method, which is one of my favorite ways for most beginner nail techs to get started with. I do find that, by breaking it down into 3 different beads, you're really able to understand what each bead is supposed to do, perfect that before starting to combine 1 to 2 of the beads for a faster application. I'm going to be using one of my favorite shimmer acrylic powders called Lavender Lace from Macart Pro. Since this is a cover acrylic powder, even though it is technically also a glitter acrylic powder, the amount of glitters in the powder is so little that you actually won't need to clear cap this before filing. That's why I love it so much for beginner nail techs who are looking to give their clients a really beautiful shimmery base. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go through our 3-bead method. Now, the purpose of the first bead is to ensure that it's covering the length of the nail, which is generally just the free edge area. You can see that with this bead, I'm working with a slightly bigger bead, and I'm kind of tapping and moving that bead to every single corner of the nail before cutting it and then getting rid of some excess powders that I don't need. I also like to take my brush and run it down the 2 sides to give myself a really crispy edge. This way there's a little bit less filing that I have to do on my side for that perfect shaping. Now, moving on to our next bead, this is the apex bead. With the apex bead, this is going to be the highest point in the nail because you have to help your client offset the weakest point in their nail as well. So as you can see, I'm only blending from the very bottom of that bead. This allows me to sustain the structure of the apex bead without flattening out. With the cuticle bead, you want to make sure that you are keeping your client's fingers tilted downwards. This should answer your question as to why do we not start from the top and we actually like to start from the bottom. It's because based on the properties that acrylic has and also how gravity helps you to pull on the bead, it's always easier to blend the top bead into the bottom bead than to do it the other way around. Don't get me wrong, you can absolutely do it, but I do think that it takes a little bit of practice before you can fully get that super smooth blend between each bead if you're working from the bottom upwards.